Hey gang, what's going on? And welcome to Talking Vegas All Day with KA. I'm your host, KA, and on today's very special episode, we're going to talk about a few things in Las Vegas during the year 2020. So before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, click subscribe, and punch that notification tab so that you can get up-to-date information when we drop new episodes. So let's go ahead and get started on a very special Talking Vegas All Day with me, KA.
Let's go to Vegas, baby. Let's go tonight.
Right now,
Let's go to Vegas. We'll stay up all night.
up in the
Let's go to Vegas.
So 2020 has been a very interesting year in a lot of regards. Obviously, the pandemic is still going on in a lot of places. But today, I'm not really going to touch on that. I want to talk about what went down in 2020. We will talk a little bit about the pandemic, but mostly what came to Las Vegas in 2020, because some stuff did. And while a lot of stuff closed down or shut down, there was a lot of things that were either planned or built, which we will talk today about. First, let's talk about a few buildings and announcements that were done this year in 2020. First is the Circa. You know, the Circa opened up here about last month, and already it's become one of the best resorts in Las Vegas, according to me. Downtown has really needed an update, and I believe Circa has done that. You know, the Stevens brothers have done a really nice job, obviously, with the sports book now, the swim stadium there, the new hotel that's going to open up here the 26th or 28th of December. And if you haven't checked it out, make sure you go and check out Circa online. It's just great. Some really amazing restaurants, and from the pictures I've seen online, it's going to be one of the best. So really check that out. Again, you know, this is a project, you know, the old Las Vegas Club. When the Stevens brothers bought it, they were going to try to renovate it. They decided to tear it down, start from scratch. There was a lot of rumors, would this thing ever get off the ground? And credit to them, they've got it off the ground, and they've put some great things in there. Also, you've got some great restaurants that have had already amazing reviews, like 8 East and Barry's Downtown Steakhouse, which I can't wait to check out. But overall, I think it's a really well-needed thing for downtown. And you know, the crazy thing is, as much as the Strip keeps building, downtown's for the most part remained the same. They update as needed. But you know, I really feel that this is a place in a few years you're going to see even more resorts starting to build, because not just on Fremont Street, but Fremont Street East, you're starting to see a lot more buildings. They're really trying to get that area cleaned up. And I think by 5 to 10 years, downtown's just going to be as fun as the Strip. I might be wrong, but that's why downtown's probably one of my favorite areas to hang out in when I'm in Las Vegas. Another thing that was announced here in 2020 is Resorts World. And Resorts World, as you all know, the old Echelon place that was done by Boyd Gaming, they sold that and it was an eyesore. Basically, you know, it's gone back and forth. It was going to get built, then it was announced, then it kind of fell apart. And then we started to see a little bit of construction, and then it stalled. Well, now we're starting to see it to the point now they have the LED lighting up. It looks like summer 2021, that's coming online. The reason I put it in 2020 was, you know, we started to see the announcements of they're going to have 3 chain hotels, all the restaurants, and kind of what the final plan is going to be like. And for me, that's really exciting, because already when I was out in 2019, it just looks like it's going to be a really neat place. The only comment I have is it reminds me a lot of the Wynn and Encore. That whole area is going to start looking like the Wynn and Encore. I wish from the building structure they would have done some different things to kind of really make it stand out. But at the same time, I like that design, that architecture, and I think the theming and all the things once it's done is going to look great. And I can't wait to check it out. I'm probably going to make a special trip once it opens up just to check it out. But for the most part, I'm really excited, and I'm so happy that through all the delays, through all the changes, the uncertainty, that we're seeing this get built. And from the restaurant announcements, the rooming announcements, it just looks amazing. And I hope they can really harness that market, get some nice residency acts in there, because the northern end of the Strip, as you guys know, really needs upgrade. Moving on, I want to talk about the Virgin, the old Hard Rock. This is another place that's supposed to be open by now, but because of the pandemic, closed down. Richard Branson always wanted to get in the casino business. He finally does. Builds this place, which the casino is going to be run separately from the hotel, which is going to be run by, I believe, Mohegan Sun. The restaurants, there's some really neat restaurants. Obviously, some really famous chefs are going to leave their mark in there. And also, I really think that area is primed for development. Again, it's that area there along the east side of the Strip that, over the years we've really tried to build it up with Topgolf and just some other things, but it still kind of has never gotten built. And I kind of want to see this place really, really do well, because I think this is the next stage. Besides downtown, the north end of the Strip, this area really can be upgraded and developed very well. There's land and room to do that. So I really hope that Virgin does well. The restaurant list, while there's some Top Chef, it kind of reminds me still a little bit from the pictures I've seen. It's going to be a little bit of a more upscale version, but it still kind of reminds me a lot of the Hard Rock, I guess, just because of the building and all that. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope this does well. And then, a couple other announcements on casinos in the future. Obviously, in the southern end, believe it or not, which is an area that they're trying to get built. Obviously, you remember the other high-rise wheel that they were going to do never took off. Well, Dream Hotels announced the Dream Las Vegas. And to me, I think this is a project, while there would be something else great to see on that side of the Strip down there, I'm not sure. The sketches I've seen look amazing. I would hope it gets built, but again, I don't know with the airport there and everything else how viable that's going to be. But if they do it, and they do it well, I think that's going to be kind of the cream of the crop down there in that end of the Strip. Because you think about it, you got the Excalibur, which is the Excalibur, Luxor, which has gone through so many identity changes you can't start to think about what it is. And then you have Mandalay Bay, which is a 5-star resort in my opinion. So there needs to be something else down there. Obviously, you also got the Tropicana there, and I just like to see something else there. And the Dream definitely looks like a higher end hotel and casino that's going to do some nice job. And then, of course, I'm going to sigh here. We have the Drew, the old Fountain Blue, the eyesore in the north end of the Strip that was supposed to revitalize the Strip, but never happened. And the Drew has gone through investor after investor to change names. They started building, now they're stopped. Now it's uncertainty, but wait a minute, they're going to come back. I hold my breath because as much as I want to see this thing done, I don't know if it ever will get done, because you have one firm buys it, pays all this money, and then the pandemic hits, and that's no one's fault. But I really hope that they can get off the ground on this. It sounds like they had a plan when they first Drew announced this, I was so excited because for once it sounded like investor had a plan rather than, oh, we're just going to finish building it. Now that looks less than certain. So could this be another failed venture where, time's going to come, it's just going to be like, hey, it's time to get off the can and tear it down. I really don't want that to happen, folks. Just because we need that up there, especially with the new convention center, the tunnel loop, which I'll talk about in a second. Just all that stuff that needs to be up there, because you still remember, guys, I don't know if you remember a couple years ago, they were going to build that arena/hotel casino right between where Sahara is and Fontainebleau. That was supposed to be the next little upgrade there in the northern end, and that, of course, is not going to happen. We just need to finish that northern end. I hope within my lifetime that northern end is done, because it's just so good. And the Fontainebleau is something that, they're saying the Drew, by 2022 it'll be done. Well, they better get cooking if they want to do that. And then finally, kind of on the same end as Virgin Hotel, we have the new announcement of the Atari Hotel and Casino, which is going to be interesting. It's supposed to be on e-gaming side. The specs look amazing. It's like futuristic. Kind of reminds me of Tron, which I think is what they're going for. Will this get built? I'm putting the odds at 30%. I don't know if this is going to get built. If it does, I'm going, because I am really excited about this. And it sounds cool, the specs look cool, but we know specs never really turns out as a real thing. Look at the Bellagio specs and back in the day. A couple other specs that are just phenomenal. I think if it does, it's going to be a lot more scaled down than what they have. It looks like that's something out of the year 2077. Crazy design. But who knows? So, and then we go to other projects. Obviously, Legion Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders, was completed. It's phenomenal. The aerial photos, just how everything's done. Just real top notch, real nice location there with T-Mobile. Just a really nice area, and I'm glad to see some sports teams are starting to take interest in Las Vegas. I think that's a really nice added addition to this town. I would love to see more sports teams, maybe a baseball team, come in, possibly an NBA team. I think the NBA would be a more viable option down the road. I know the Aces are there, but I think you need to see maybe an NBA team down the road. But yeah, the Allegiant Stadium definitely is a first-class football stadium. I hope one day I get to go see a game there. Then you have Area 15, 2 miles outside of the Strip. And there again, it's a really cool little ice cream parlor, restaurants, retail shops, theming, music. A nice little diversion from the Strip. If you want to get off Strip and see that, Area 15 is definitely a place to go to. They have some really nice restaurants on their lineup. And I think that's going to be something more as an experience than an attraction. Definitely something that I think maybe set the bar in the future. You might see some more off-strip properties such as that to get tourists to kind of take, some time off and, hey, let's go out there. And it's not far enough that you can't get there. It's an Uber drive or a taxi. You know me, I prefer Uber. Drive away. So, and then the convention center loop, that's coming along. It's going to connect the convention center to Resorts World and probably other Elon Musk doing it again. I think this could be the future in some resort towns and cities such as New York and other areas where you might see these kind of underground transit, cars to help get people to and from a lot faster, a lot more efficiently. And I think that's going to be something that as time goes, we'll see if it's a success or a failure, like the monorail. I mean, the monorail, when I first opened up and I did my history on this, it was, people liked it. But now it's kind of becoming an eyesore. And I think, sorry to get off topic here, I don't think the monorail is long for this world much longer. But I know there's plans to try to still get it to extend down to McCarran and up to downtown. That'd be nice, but I just don't see that happening. But this convention center loop, definitely something. And I think the convention center is going to start getting more hotels at least. But yeah, so that's a little something, some of the announcements. Obviously, we've had some great restaurants added this year as well, such as Elio, X-Pot, Bugsy Meyer Steakhouse, Barry's Downtown Prime, 80s, just to name a few. And also downtown, that Fremont Street East, it continues to expand. So there's stuff still coming in. But these are some places on KA's list that I can't wait to get to and enjoy. And then just closing out, through the year 2020, Vegas started out the year hot. A lot of good stuff to be happy with. It seemed like everything was going well. I know I personally had me and Jay booked our trip for Easter, where we go out for a couple of days, hang out, go to buffet at the Wynn for Easter, kind of as a tradition. But that didn't happen this year because of the pandemic. And then shortly after that, Vegas shut down. It was dark there for the longest time. We saw a lot of residency and show acts shut down, reschedule for 2021, or even in some cases 2022. Restaurants fold, and there was times I was like, some of my favorite restaurants, I hope I don't see that on the list day after day that it's closing down. And people there for a while, will Vegas recover from this? Will casinos and resorts shut down? And that was a big scare. Millions of people were out of jobs, and some of the hotels stepped up, some didn't. I saw reviews online about what hotel and resort companies did a great job and what didn't. Some of them, now this is a shout out to some of them. You guys did a great job helping workers, but for some of you, shame on you. You just let them go. That kind of miffed me a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. Ultimately, though, at the end of the day, the citizens and residents and the lovers of Vegas, such as myself, rallied around it. Whether it was virtual or in person, you saw the parades and Vegas Strong, and we'll get through this together, and it really brought the community together from what I saw out there. And they got through it, and when it opened back up, people came back. Maybe not in the numbers because of the occupancy limits, but when the governor shut down the bars again, people made it work. And that's a credit to you, Las Vegas. You guys have weathered this just like everybody else here. I'm not trying to get political or anything here, but that's the truth. And we'll continue to weather this, and we're going to get through it. And this is just KA. I think Vegas, when this is all said and done, will come back even stronger. When the hotels open up and everything's at full capacity and we can all go back and enjoy it, we will. Because you're seeing on the weekends people out there still loving it, still doing what it is. And I remember when it first opened, no one's going to come back, it's going to be Ghost Town. I still see it. Oh, it's Ghost Town, don't go, this and that. I've talked to people who went out there, and it's pretty much the same, other than with the masks and a lot of the restaurants and things just aren't there. It's a lot different, but the love of the Vegas is still there. In closing, that's why I do this show. Just because I really love you guys out there that, I'm just starting up here. But I appreciate those of you that listen to me. So, again, that's all the time we have for a day. Happy New Year. Hope everybody's having a great holiday. I just wanted to drop this and say thank you so much for those of you who listened, for supporting me. I'm going to tell you this right now, 2021 is going to be a lot better. I'm going to be dropping some new stuff. We got the podcast coming up. I got a few announcements. And I'm really excited. So make sure on the way out to hit that like button, click subscribe, and also leave a comment. I'd like to know what you kind of loved if you got out there this year, what it was like, and what are you looking forward to in 2021 in Las Vegas. But I'll see you next year in Talking Vegas all day with me, KA.